Good morning, Aviva. Good morning, Liz. Good morning, Alex.
Good morning.
Okay, I just finished recording the class. I'm waiting for Zoom to send me the link, so hopefully we'll be in luck again. And just need to make sure John got in. Good morning, Martha. So I'm going to send John the link. Bear with us.
Yeah, it's different. You have to sort of wait for the sign in, I guess, or
yeah, it won't let you sign in early.
Right.
Including the teacher. I'm like, that's not how this stuff works.
And it wouldn't let me sign in until I gave my phone number.
Oh, geez.
I had to do email and password.
Okay, let me make sure that I'm gonna
New world.
Exactly. In some ways for better, thankfully. Okay, John.
Yeah, I still am nervous.
I know, it's like getting out of a bad relationship, but then you're like, wait, I need to find a therapist.
I did a restorative class with Alex yesterday, and
oh, good idea.
Started with this beautiful quote about when you first exhale, you begin to feel the layers.
Wow.
And it was just so beautiful. I'll try and find it.
Wow.
It's exactly how I felt.
Yeah, and certainly now the work, like, it's just it's a work that has a little bit more hope embedded in it.
Exactly right.
Exactly.
Hi, John.
Hi.
Oh, yay. I suspect that Christine Rose came to the rescue.
All right.
Okay, you guys, I have my recording. Okay, I'm going to come back here. Okay, I am ready to share my screen, and I'd love to make space to share. If anybody would love to check in or like to check in, or check in even if they don't feel like it, there is space for that.
I'll check in. Hi, everybody. I am feeling very grateful for just the healthy boundaries that I know when I come here. So I'm feeling very grateful for that I know there will be some unshielding, some much needed unshielding. So thank you. Thank you, everybody.
All right, taking a breath with Lisa. Thank you.
John, how's everybody? Hey, I read something that was regarding being realistic and to also have optimism in that realism. And what I mean by that, the reality is one thing, and being optimistic that there will be a change, or needing to change the reality is where I need to be. So optimism is definitely my new mantra.
Wow, thank you.
I'm just so thankful to be in this group and hear all of this. It's exactly what I needed this morning. Thank you.
Thank you, Liz.
Yeah, I could say the same. It's a feeling of amplifying my sense of hope that is starting to sprout anew. Yeah, and it's just lovely to feel it sort of radiating wherever all of us are on the planet.
Thank you, Martha. All right. Anybody else want to jump in? Okay, I am going to share my screen here. Get going, and just to let you guys know, I was running a bit quote unquote behind, so I just talk you into Shavasana, and the class is a bit shorter, but I will be here on the other side to say hello again, and that was the best I could do today. So here we go. Welcome everyone. Monday, November 9th, 2020, Forrest Yoga. We are going to use a strap or anything that can do the job of the yoga strap. Something that might bring the floor up to you. Yoga blocks are great, or I don't think anyone has phone books anymore, but big books. And something to sit on. And if you need extra padding for your knees, I'm on a carpet, so I don't need it as much here, but something to pad your joints. And please come to a way that you could sit comfortably. Have your strap within reaching distance. And ground your sit bones, the base of the pelvis, the ischial tuberosities, into a support. You're plugging your bones into earth energy. And you could close your eyes or allow your gaze to settle. And begin to allow yourself to sense your vessel of your physical form in the environment you're inhabiting right now. And there's some outside noise. There's like a guy in a bucket outside my window. Some folks are home. So rather than push against that myself, we're going to just allow that to be part of my meditation. And so we'll start with weaving together our breath with the intent. So just feeling into using this extraordinary faculty of respiration to allow you to inhabit your space. And the intent that we are working with today is taking up space. So feeling into allowing yourself to study your response to those words strung together. And we'll start with some proprioceptive exercises, the ability to sense the body and map the body in space as a way to dive into that. If your eyes are closed, imagining the clothing that you know you have on, imagining and sensing the room that you're in. And particularly bringing your attention to your skull bones. Relaxing the skull bones in all directions. And sensing where your skull bones exist, mapping where your skull bones exist in your environment. And then internally sensing the space where the eyes exist within the skull bones, using your breath to help you map and scan the brain, the space behind the eyes. Relaxing the brain as much as is available. Tracing through the brainstem into the cervical spine of the neck, and sensing where does your neck exist in space. Softening the neck, either with stillness or some movement. And then allowing yourself to feel into the rib cage. And then patiently beginning to scan different places where you feel drawn in the rib cage that give you information about your breath. Sensing where you can map your rib cage in space, in your environment. And then sensing internally into the inner body within the rib cage. Feeling for the heart being hugged by the lungs. Being massaged open by diaphragmatic breathing. And then sensing the weight of the pelvis rooting you down. If you're familiar with the shape of the pelvis, imagining the pelvis in space. mapping yourself in your environment. And then internally sensing the lower energy centers, relaxing the belly, like you're pouring breath down to pelvic floor, low abs. And then holding this embodied inquiry of what does it mean to take up space responsibly in a way that's correct with your spirit, in a way that honors your unique gifts and challenges. And then from there, please take a hold of the strap. We can start with shoulders width distance and just pull on the strap and take any kind of movements that help you to free up your breath and your shoulders, and then come a little bit wider. And then as much as you can, keep the front ribs softening in and down. Do some shoulder flossing here. Arms can go straight. Keep a tiny bend in the elbows so you're getting out of hyperextension. Inhaling here, and then exhale, one hand comes behind the head, the other hand straightens the arm out. And then tweak this in any way that feels the most pleasant and allows you to free up your rib cage to take up space. Lift the ribs, and then you could add in a little twist. And then keep going at your own pace here, investigating what arises. And then taking a pause, feeling into that. Feel how the neck responds to work in the shoulders. And then from here, I need to loosen it because I have hair behind my head. It's the action of, if you're familiar with a lat pull, elbows come down. So keep the strap or let it go. Arms come up and then elbows bend. Using this to steady, do your shoulder blades glide on your back ribs. And then from there, take a moment, take a feeling breath. And then we'll repeat the twisting that we did last week, bringing one hand over the other. Inhale, lift ribs. And then just letting it be small, keeping the chin over the sternum, using it to open up your awareness of the tube of the torso. Coming back to center, releasing down, taking a feeling breath. And then from there, let's come into Baddha Konasana, feet together, knees wide. We'll come into unlocking the hips. So rolling the weight onto the left hip, getting hold of the right thigh, and then moving or feeling for moving the thigh bone away from the hip. Plant the sit bone back down, and then take the hand to the inner thigh, opposite hand back behind you. Inhale, lift the ribs, and then pressing down and away on the inner thigh. If you another move that you can do is press the thigh back into the hand and then let go to see if you get any more of a release. You can play with lifting the chest and then softening the front ribs in and down. Press the inner edges of the feet together. And we'll take it to the other side. Come back up, lift ribs, pour the weight onto the right side, hold on to the left thigh, lengthen thigh bone away from hip. Plug the sit bone back down and then hand to inner thigh. Opposite hand about 16 inches back behind you. You can play with this hand position, see what feels like it gives you the most space to lengthen torso. Press the thigh back into the hand and then let go. And then play with any micro movements that give you information about helping yourself inhabit space. And then from there, go ahead and come on up, lifting the chest. If it's okay for your neck, looking up, feel for lifting your whole head away from the top of the spine. We'll take a few clearing breaths here. Inhale to your full. Pause at the top, and then exhale everything out with a clearing breath. Do that about 4 more times at your own pace. Feel for the spots where you have breath access, where it's a little sleepy. Getting empty, pulling belly back towards spine. And when that's complete, give yourself a moment, maybe in stillness or some movement to integrate that. Feel for completely relaxing the belly, stacking ribs, stacking skull bones. And then from here, pouring the weight onto the left hip, tucking the heel back by the sit bone. I'll show this from the side. So if that is not good for your hip or your knee, you can stay right here. If it is okay for you, all my weight is on one hip. For some people have the mobility to be on both hips. Both are fine, whatever takes care of your joints. And then from there, grab onto the ground, move the shoulder and the shoulder blade down, and then get a sense of the tissues in the hand using that press to open up, and then pull like you're pulling back on a bow and arrow, stretch across the chest. Inhale, lift ribs, and then exhale, take the arm behind the line of the torso so you could look up. If that frees up the scalings, the side of the neck, if it's too much, you could look forward. Your neck is really tight. Looking down can be a really good choice. And then feel for this energy line that we talk about a lot, pranavayu, so long in heart meridians, literally receiving prana from this extraordinary day in so many ways, right into your heart and lungs, extending it, pushing it out through your limbs. And then sensing the architecture of each shape in your space. How are you inhabiting your space? Where do you have choice? Bring that arm back in line with the torso and then down, bring yourself up. Come back through the center and then pour the weight again, either option 1, tucking the heel back by the butt, or staying in Baddha Konasana. Grab onto the ground so that clawing increases proprioception, and then softening. So we'll play with those activation moves and then down regulating. So we titrate back and forth, right? Pull, stretch, reach, and then come back. So all of these developmental movements that we need to be working with to nourish our tissues, to nourish our bones. Choose your gaze point, soften the eyes, fill all the way up with the breath. Shoulder down, shoulder blade down. And then we'll keep coming back to this theme and this orienting practice. So we're getting ourselves into present time. It was a very different moment than we were in 1 week ago. How do we give ourselves time to heal, to find our way back into this moment? Bring the arm back in line with the torso and then feel for the pockets of air around the arm, moving through space. Help your head back up. And then from here, either come right into Dandasana, staff pose. If you are struggling at all to sit, or even if you just want to try it with support, you can grab a pillow, you can grab a blanket. That actually feels pretty good to me, so I'm going to do it. So from here, get the outer edges of the feet parallel. Bring the elbows to shoulder height. Stretch the hands open. Inhale. Exhale. Shoulders and shoulder blades move down, and like you're reaching. You can even give yourself a self-assist here. Reach the elbows forward. Let's all do that. So bring your right hand to left elbow. Press forward. And then take that to the other side. Bring the left hand to the right elbow, press forward. Feel what happens in the shoulder girdle. And then bring both elbows to shoulder height. Stay in Dandasana. I'm coming this way for clarity. Inhale here. And then exhale, forearms move away from each other. Elbows stay the same as much as you can. And just feel how that changes the sensation and the information of where your shoulders are in space, what's going on inside shoulders, and then let the arms relax down, stillness or movement. And then go ahead and come to tabletop. Shoulders over wrists. Hips over knees, and then similar to what we did last week, press into the right hand so much left hand starts to hover, starts to hover, starts to hover. Rotate the ribs a bit, reach the arm up, and then an option to hover the right knee as well. Pausing here, it's a little bit different than what we were doing last week. Check out your neck. And then take it to the other side. Press the ground away with the left hand so much. Right hand hovers. Rotate ribs slightly, reach the arm up, hover the left knee. And then take that one more time on each side. Press the ground away, hover left. Rotate ribs slightly, reach up, hover right knee, press the ground away. And then release, press the ground away, hover the right hand, hover the left knee, rotate ribs, reach the arm up. And then from there, come back to center. Turbo puppy. So we'll do the flowing version today. Hands come forward, hands with distance. Root the inner hands a lot. So you're internally rotating the forearms with that action. Bend the elbows. Actually, for this version, you can do a good bit, 1 to 3 inches away from the floor. And then you can give yourself that self-assist. Press the elbow towards the hand. So you're making space in the glenohumeral joint and then squeeze in like you have something between the elbows. And then straighten the arms. Lift between shoulder blades. So the focus is thoracic spine. So the lumbar might move a bit, but focusing on mobilizing thoracic. Send elbows towards the ground, elbows hug in. You could look forward or just keep the head pretty still. And then from there, come back to your tabletop. Let's do some alternate limb reaching. This time, finding your own flow here. So reaching arm and leg, keeping the hips as stable as possible, circling the joints, sensing the limbs as levers into the core, switching sides as you're ready, kicking like you have a wall that you're kicking the leg into. You can even use a wall with both limbs. And then from there, take a ceiling breath. We're gonna come into turbo dog. So it's a variation of down dog. Hands come forward and hands with distance. This time it's a slight bend in the elbow. And if you're new to it, make it so slight, like you're trying to secretly bend your elbows. Squeeze inner elbows towards each other and then begin to take the hip points, like you're gonna put the front of the hip point on the ceiling up and back. Keep a slight bend in the elbow, hugging in. And then from here, coming to forward bend. So you bring knees down and step up or walk feet to hands. You can place hands on blocks. Again, micro bending the knees is going to help you get out of hyperextension and protect the joints. From here, if you have hands on an object, press the ground away with the right hand, slightly bend into the right knee more than a micro bend, pull back with the left, stretch up, moving the shoulder blade towards the ceiling, and then switch, straighten legs, forward fold, keep a micro bend, and then deeply bend, deeper bend in the left knee, press away, pull back with the right, reach up. Do that one more time on each side, fold. Press into the right hand, bend the right knee, pull back as you're pressing away, reach up, move the left shoulder blade towards the ceiling, and then take it to the other side. And then from there, forward fold. Press the front hip points back, back, back with the L of the thumb and the index finger. Use the abs and then sense, keeping the back flat, come on up. And then from there, let's reset Tadasana, feet active, outer edges of the feet parallel, front hip point and back hip point as even as you can get. Bring the hands into a press. You can really sense, where am I in space? And then we'll come into some sun salutations with some other stuff mixed in. Lift the ribs. Sense the pressing the ground away as a way to reach up, struggle free. Open chest and shoulders, soft knees, hips stay back, forward bend. From there, step the left leg back into lunge. So from here, you can see if you need extra padding, front hip point and back hip point aligned, so you can play with that. Press the ground away, and then reaching the arms up in a way that helps you to keep the ribs from jutting forwards. And it might be bringing the shoulders wider, because sometimes we stick our ribs out because of shoulder tightness, so play with it. And then from here, coming into brain cradling, interlace hands behind the head. You can use this to give yourself a self-assist here. Lift your skull bones, reach your elbow tips forward and up, making space in the shoulders. And then from there, torso comes up, step back into plank. And we'll do some shoulder shrugs in boat pose. So lowering down, finding press of the ground away, keeping the torso steady as much as you can. Elbows come next to ribs. Reach back with each leg. Lengthen the thigh bone back, roll the inner thigh to the ceiling. Hands hover next to shoulders. Lift legs, shoulders, and chest. Inhale, broaden upper back. Exhale, squeeze shoulders, shoulder blades, and elbow tips. Inhale, broaden upper back. Exhale, squeeze shoulders, shoulder blades, elbow tips. One more time. Inhale, broaden upper back. Exhale, squeeze shoulders, shoulder blades, elbow tips. Reach through the legs. And then come down into crocodile. Take a breath. Feel into your body in this particular shape aligned with the earth. Pressing through tabletop into down dog. Sensing this inquiry into proprioception and interoception. And then from there, left leg is coming forward. So you can step right on the mat or outside of the foot. And then finding frontal hip points as even as you can. Sensing the information that lunges give you about your hip flexors and lots of other things. Lift the ribs, wrap shoulder blades. Play with the arm position to keep you feeling your torso in space. Press into both feet, lifting pubic bone. Frame the front foot, just step up. Forward fold. And then from there, come on up. Lift ribs. And then consider opening shoulders and chest, hands come back. If you like, continue with that home base press of the hands together. From here, we'll come into what we've been working with of knees over ankles as much as you can. They might scoot forward, but that's the intent. Hips back, getting into your chair pose. And again, just the arms to struggle free. And we'll take it into a twist. So home base press. Options, you can either bring the elbow outside the thigh or grab the block. Plant the left hand onto a block, the other arm is reaching up. Keep the left hand back. And then let it be small. If you come towards momentum and lose feeling connection, make it way smaller. Maybe you bring the hand back to the hip. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, rotate. Come back through center, get weight into the heels. You can float the toes up and then let them come down. Hands press. And then find the best variation on this side. Press, lengthen. Keep the right hip tracking back. Maybe you keep the hand on the hip. Maybe you reach up. Come forward. And then from there, step back. Like, we'll come through some cobra push-ups here. So knees up or knees down. Finding a high quality transition to the ground. So cobra push-ups, hands under shoulders, option one. Sometimes it can be really nice to come forward and wider. So play with it. Keep a strong reach through the posterior chain. Use the glutes and hamstrings. And then let length be the priority over how high you come up. Traction ribs forward. Reach heart forward as you come down. Do about 4 of these. And again, play with what helps you to find yourself taking up space that feels like it has integrity. When you've finished, give yourself a few breaths, feeling the connection of belly to earth and this horizontal access to help you slow down thinking. Hands under shoulders, shoulder blades away from ears. Press back into down dog. You can repeat turbo dog if you like that. Moving the frontal hip points up and back. See if that helps you find more hip strength and more hamstring strength. And then from here, warrior two. Let's step left leg forward. Bringing the front heel to the back arch. If you have the mobility, pick up the back heel and spin it out so you're internally rotating the thigh. It's also fine to have it parallel. And then from here, back the front hip points, back, back, back. Show it from the side. So it's just like we do in Tadasana. Take the hips back, in line with the ankles, and then use the glutes. Reach down, lift ribs. And then from here, let's do some bird wing and warrior two. Bring the biceps to the side ribs, and then scoot them forward. So you're bringing them in and then slightly forward. Stretch the palms, sensing the palms parallel to the earth, facing the sky. Feel the collarbones. And as if you had something very precious in your armpits you don't want to drop. Inhale, lift ribs. Exhale, forearms come out. Elbows squeeze in. Shoulders and shoulder blades drag down. Come back to stage one. Inhale. Exhale. Squeeze, drag down. Inhale to stage one. Exhale, forearms come out, elbows squeeze in, shoulders down, shoulder blades down. Come back to center. And then from there, let the arms come back down. Take a feeling breath, reach the arms out. Flip the palms, shoulders down, shoulder blades down, kick through the legs, particularly through the posterior chain. And then from here, hold on to the right hip, flip up and over, reverse warrior. Give yourself awareness of the back body and space, breathing into your supports like you're leaning up against a friendly wall. And then reach, 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 reach. Cover the ear, put your head back up. And then from there, straighten the front leg. We're going to take it right to the other side. So toes face forward, upward facing wide stance, sensing just how changing the shapes of your limbs into these warrior poses changes your experience of your body and yourself in space. Relax arms down and then pivot, opposite toes forward. Again, if it works, take the back heel, spin it out to roll the thigh in, which gives you more room to tuck the hip under. Get it into the heels, kick, hips back, tailbone down, pubic bone lifting. And then from there, let's do another round of bird wing. Hug the arms to the ribs, scoot the biceps forward, stretch the hands open. Check out your neck, inhale. Exhale, forearms come out, elbows hug in, shoulders down, shoulder blades down. Inhale to stage one. Exhale. Forearms come out, elbows pin in, shoulders and shoulder blades down. Feel what's happening as you do that. One more. Squeeze. Relax the eyes, use your feet instead. Arms come back. Maybe give the arms a shake. Keep the legs solid, sweep the arms out. Keep the ribs right over the hips. Palms up, and then just keep that. Flip the palms down, stay in the lunge. Reverse warrior. And again, feel how you can focus in on the back plane of the body. Soften front ribs in and down. Feel into that kidney area. Reaching over and down, hovering the hand, putting head back up. Straight into the front leg, pivot toes forward. Give your legs some breath support here. And then from here, we'll come into a wide-legged standing back bend. So some options here. From here, lifting ribs. If it works for you, you could interlace the hands. You could also grab your strap. You can also stay hands on hips. We did this as our peak pose last week with legs in Tadasana, sensing how the wider base changes your experience if you were here doing that pose with us. Sensing the inner body and also mapping yourself in your environment and in this connection with each other in space. When you're ready, bringing the torso up, heel toe the feet back together. Come back to Tadasana. And let's do a bit of tapping here. So starting with fingertips to sternum. You can either stay with that or come to whole palm and just begin to sense where you feel drawn here. You can go to all the lymphatic webbing here, chest, armpits. Go anywhere you feel drawn. Kidneys. And then from there, it's doing some sweeping. And then as you are ready, coming to stillness in your Tadasana, seeing if you can sense yourself as space, mapping yourself in your environment. Sensing your response to your environment. And then allowing yourself to come onto the back for Shavasana. Giving weight over, letting yourself expand and take up space in your rest. Beginning to sense the horizontal axis of your body in alignment with the earth and the self-organizing intelligence of nature, which is also you. And sensing the space that you are inhabiting, as well as the space of the inner body. And continuing to make a commitment to study the way you choose to inhabit space as an expression of respect for yourself and for others. Taking all the time you need, transitioning on to one side, keeping the skull bones and neck as relaxed as possible. And as a way to transition, pressing into the earth to feel that ground force response to help you rise into the dignity of your full height in your seat and the full breadth of your shoulders, right and left. And coming to close, if you like bringing the hands to touch, to seal our time together. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
My pleasure.